I'll go over this palette again. This is again sort of my basic drawing palette for skin tones. I have white, flesh tint, Naples yellow, raw sienna, burnt umber, two reds, a cadmium red, deep, a permanent rose. Here we have some viridian, some ultramarine blue, and some lamp black. The black I always keep on the palette, even though a lot of people say you don't use it. Well, I use it as a cooler. It cools off the colors. Okay, so I'm going to mix up usually what I do is I mix up a light, a medium, and a darker values of skin color. Now this is not exacting skin color. This is drawing stage skin color, which is, the difference is that the colors are not precise. They're sort of basic. They give me an idea of what I need. Okay, so with these colors that I have here, which I intend to dip into, and I'll show you how that works at various times, I'm going to mix up a light. So I'm taking some white, a titanium white, a little flesh tone, a little raw sienna. I add some viridian to that. Just a little bit, little touches of it. The viridian cools it all off a little bit. Now, like I say, these colors don't have to be exact. They just have to be sort of semi-close. Okay, there's the light. Okay, now I'm going to go to a medium. So I'm taking out the white. I'm using a little of this flesh tone right here. I'm going to add some raw sienna, a little burnt umber, maybe a little bit more. And because my skin is very tanned, especially this time of the year, which is summertime, I'm going to keep it a little bit more on the reddish side. Put a little cadmium red. You see, I'm just sort of warming it up to myself. You don't have to go crazy with being absolutely precise here. As you can see, it's a bit of a darker tan color. If you put it up to my skin, you know, it's sort of close. Actually, it's very close. Okay, now I'm going to mix a little bit darker color. I'm going to put it over here so it's not too far away from me, so I don't have to reach for it. Just a darker color. I use flesh tone and burnt umber. Add a little viridian. And that should pretty much do it for what I need right there. The other color that I always put out here at this stage, actually at any stage during a portrait, is a green mix. And it doesn't, when I say green mix, I know that sounds very sort of nefarious or something, but it doesn't have to be a particular green. It just has to be an off ochre green as a cooling color, cooling additive. You'll see how I'll talk about it as I use it. So I take some white, I take some viridian, I take some raw sienna, I mix them together. I want it a little bit darker at this stage, so I'll just add a little bit more green. You can even add a little bit of blue if you want to. So you have that on your palette. Sometimes I also will add a reddish value on this preliminary palette. So I'm going to do that too. I'll take a little flesh tint, a little permanent rose, and I think I'll throw a little red in there because that's way too bright. In fact, it's still way too bright. So let's just, I'm just doing this by feel. There's no formula to this. I just know that I need a reddish color. I'm adding more of this deeper red, and that's more like it. Now this color, because it's so strong, and I don't want it to interfere with my drawing, I just want to be able to go to it as I need it. I'm going to put it up here on my palette, get it out of my way. And I'm going to clean my palette off a little bit here, this red business, because I don't want my color to be too influenced by that. So I just wiped that off my palette. Okay, we're ready to go. Okay, at a previously I said that I like to use white palettes, and I don't know if you can tell on your video, but this is a gray palette. The reason why I'm using a gray palette is because I ran out of white palettes, and I'm waiting for my order to come in, so I'm stuck using this. It makes it a little bit harder because I see it a little differently. It's no big deal, especially at this stage of the game. All right. You've seen me lay out my palette, and so the colors that I'm putting on here, which I'm putting on exclusively with turpentine, I'm using just the basic colors that I have put out there. I'm dipping as I need into the other colors that are on the palette. If I need a little bit more red or a little bit more green, I'll dip into those colors. But for right now, I'm drawing in colors. This is how it works. The most important thing that I'm trying to do right here is to get a real good feel in basic color of the drawing process. A lot of people, when they think of drawing, they think about drawing with pencils. For me, it's not that at all. In fact, I think I probably paint very much like a person draws with a pencil. I'm adding just some basic color. I'm looking at really the strongest areas of highlight and shadow right now, and forming those in there. As I get this space filled with color, then I'll go back and I'll take some turpentine to it, and I'll start identifying the. Oops, that's too wet. If you find you got too much turpentine or too much something, I use a paper towel and I just dab it. Don't wipe it off because it makes it eventually too slick. So just dab it. Add a little bit more red there because I'm seeing a little bit of red in isolated spots. It's very important to pay close attention to the way that your eye picks up certain colors, and don't take them seriously. Take those things seriously. So what I mean is, if you see a little bit of red or a little bit of green, go ahead and put them on. It's not going to do any harm. If it looks stupid when you're a little bit later, you can just take it off.